diamond up for life.
Barry brings in Hal David to write the lyric.
I said, I think we could really do it, and that would be Louis Armstrong. Armstrong had just come out of hospital. He'd been in hospital for about a year. My father had a theatre and a huge ballroom in York called the Casino Ballroom. And Armstrong came and performed. It was wonderful to be able to finally record with him. This was the last record he did.
Nothing more, nothing less, only love.
Do come in. Your most vital contact will be Tanaka.
Tanaka?
He's head of the Japanese Secret Service, and his identity is the most closely guarded secret in Japan.
When can I see him?
You can see Tiger tonight.
Tiger?
His closest friends are permitted to call him that.
Do you have any leads of your own?
Yes, I do. That's stirred, not shaken. That was right, wasn't it?
Perfect. Cheers.
Cheers. Good evening, Mr. Bond.
Blofeld.
Good evening, 007. Double jeopardy, Mr. Bond. You killed my only other double, I'm afraid. After his death, volunteers were, understandably, rather scarce.
Welcome to hell, Blofeld.
Nice to see you haven't lost that fine mental edge, 007. Please don't get any foolish notions. That missile is not a practical weapon.
Well, it's hardly worth the effort. After all, I wouldn't know which one of you to kill.
We appreciate your predicament, Mr. Bond. We deeply sympathize. Right idea, Mr. Bond.
But wrong pussy.
As you see, Mr. Bond, the satellite is at present over Kansas. Well, if we destroy Kansas, the world may not hear about it for years. Perhaps New York, all that smut and traffic, would give them a chance for a fresh start. Washington, D.C. Perfect. Since we have not heard from them, they will hear from us.
I propose to end the domination of Silicon Valley and leave us in control of that market.
What is it you propose?
Project Main Strike, for which each of you will pay me $100 million.
$100 million? Plus half our net income?
Under an exclusive marketing agreement with me.
These are outrageous terms.
Well, perhaps a demonstration would convince you.
I want no part of it, thank you.
As you wish. The rest of our discussion must, of course, be confidential. Would you wait outside?
If you'd like me to, yes. Excuse me.
So, does anybody else want to drop out?
There you go, Smaller. Have you seen everything you came to see? Go back to your friends and report. Tell them the little fish I throw back into the sea. Give it to him.
You're going to shoot me in the back.
The gun, I mean. Kamal!
Gently, my friend, gently. What did you find?
Nothing.
You saw Bond?
Yes, I saw him.
What happened? You let him get the better of you.
No, he wasn't, baby. He was also going to die. No, 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 no.
I said, I've finished with editing. I don't want to do any more editing. I'm going to direct. That's what I want to do. The book of On Her Majesty's Secret Service was a great story, and it was a Fleming James Bond book. And so we didn't have to deviate. I didn't want to deviate. I didn't want to put gimmicks and tricks in it to make it. It didn't need making better. It was there. It was all there. And I must say, this boy, George Lazenby, looked extremely good and moved very well.
And I said, Peter, I gotta live with you. I'm not an actor. He said, what? He said, you gotta be an actor. I said, I'm not. He said, I'll tell you what. You stick to your story, and I'll make you the next James Bond.
Before you go, however, I very much regret to inform you that a dangerous development has recently been brought to my notice. Someone has been attempting to sell the plans of our tracking project to competing world powers. Someone intimately associated with the project. Cancel transfer of $20 million. Inform next of kin that a tragic accident has resulted in the deaths of Professor Markowitz and Dr. Beckman. The funeral was at sea.
Whose funeral is it?
Yours.
Colonel Hargreaves, Flag Officer Submarines.
Ark Royal, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Good God.
Commander, this tracing means that the Russians can track our nuclear submarines underwater and sink them.
I believe it does. Well, how could they track them? It's impossible.
Heat signature recognition, most likely. Well, you see, we already know that satellites with infrared heat sensors can detect a nuclear missile in flight by its tail fire.
Well?
Someone can now locate a submerged nuclear submarine in exactly the same way, by its wake.
That means they can totally undermine our Western defense strategy.
It looks like it, yes.
Ah, good morning, 007.
Morning, sir.
Do you know what this is?
Well, it looks like a Fabergé egg, sir. One of the jeweled eggs made by Carl Fabergé as an Easter gift for the Russian royal family. They're priceless and very rare. This one contains a model of the Imperial State Coach.
Top marks, 007.
Thank you, sir.
Except it's a fake. Now, there's the real thing. It's being auctioned at Sotheby's this afternoon. You had no business bidding for that egg. And what would you have done if you'd got it?
I would have claimed it was a fake, sir, and not paid.
Not pay?
Here's the original. I switched it with the fake during the auction.
Good God.
Who's number one? The gray with him?
That's Pegasus, Sorin's horse.
Oh!
With the cane, is that Max Zorn?
Yes. Born in Dresden, fled from East Germany in the 60s. French passport, speaks at least 5 languages, no accent. Now, the talk of the city and the boss.
Come on!
The old rags to riches story.
He made his first fortune in oil and gas trading. May I remind you that this operation was to be conducted discreetly. All it took was 6 million francs in damages and penalties for violating most of the Napoleonic Code.
Well, under the circumstances, sir, I thought it more important to identify the assassin.
What did you learn from Aubergine before his untimely demise?
Well, only that Zorin is having a thoroughbred sale at his stud not far from here. I think I should be there.
What's this, caviar? Well, that's peasant food for us. But with champagne, it's okay. Bollinger RD, the best.
The brand on the list was questionable, sir, so I took the liberty of choosing something else.
Superb, Mr. Bond, superb.
May I suggest we resume the debriefing?
Absolutely, go ahead. I'm all yours.
This arrived from Gibraltar. It was found near 004's body. Your name was on Pushkin's list too, 007.
There are a few things I'd like to check out first, sir. That sniper, for instance.
Yes, I've read Saunders' report. You jeopardized the entire mission to avoid shooting a beautiful girl.
Not exactly, sir. I had to make a split-second decision. It was instinct.
I'll recall 008 from Hong Kong. He can do it. He doesn't know Pushkin. He follows orders, not instincts. You were supposed to be in Istanbul last night. I'm afraid this unfortunate lighter business has clouded your judgment. You have a job to do. I expect you on a plane this afternoon.
I haven't finished here, sir.
Leave it to the Americans. It's their mess. Let them clear it up.
Sir, they're not going to do anything. I owe it to Leiter. He's put his life on the line for me many times.
Oh, spare me this sentimental rubbish. He knew the risks.
And his wife?
This private vendetta of yours could easily compromise Her Majesty's government. You have an assignment, and I expect you to carry it out objectively and professionally.
Then you have my resignation, sir.
We're not a country club, 007. Effective immediately. Your license to kill is revoked, and I require you to hand over your weapon. Now.
Just finished a bunch of action-adventure scores. The call came, they want to talk to you. Yeah, I'm writing a James Bond movie! You do pinch yourself and think, my God, I'm working on this.
Get some lunch, Jerry. I'll take over. Death certificate, please, Mr. Franks.
Well, well, well. Felix Leiter, you old fraud.
On behalf of the CIA, welcome to America. I give up. I know the diamonds are in the body, but where?
Elementary, Dr. Leiter.
So long, James. Keep in touch.
Hello, Felix.
Wouldn't you know it? Willard Whyte is about to be executed, and guess who's giving breaststroke lessons?
What happened this afternoon? You promised me your best man. Mr. Arkov supplied the latest weapons.
Yes, but Bond...
Bond was unarmed. And you, Arkov, is everything ready for tomorrow?
I have the authorization and the passes in the car. And I have arranged for a plane tonight, but...
But what?
We should scrap the rest of the mission. The Parahawks were meant to be returned. People will start asking questions, even of me, all because of his incompetence.
I see. You're right. You're right. He should be punished. Davidov, hold this for me. It was wrong of me to expect so much of you. Kill him. He failed his test of devotion. You can take his place.
That's his pigeon waiting for him now.
Goldfinger's been taking him to the cleaners every day for a week.
Morning, Mr. Simmons. Ready for a little game?
Sure, I'm ready. When you're 10 grand in the hole, you're ready for anything.
Could I have my usual seat?
You and your suntan.
That last draw was the 8 of hearts.
Start losing, Goldfinger.
Come on.
Let's be generous. Let's make it 15,000.
Well, I can see this is really my day. Jen.
General, there's a bomb in that cannon.
Sure, where else would a bomb be? Great clown, then.
I'm deadly serious. I'm a British agent.
What? For God's sake, tell him who I am.
Does that convince you? Sir, that bomb is set to explode at 3:45. That's 90 seconds from now.
General, this man's either drunk or crazy.
Let him go.
Quiet, everyone! Quiet! I thought you might have met Mr. Vargas the other night.
Oh, yes, I believe I did.
Drink, sir.
Rum Collins, Mr. Bond?
Yes.
For you? Of course. Vargas does not drink, does not smoke, does not make love. What do you do, Vargas?
He must have followed us.
I think he got the point.
Thank you, Sherry. Olymp, we will finish our struggle later.
As you wish.
Olymp, I didn't know Mr. Bond knew Papa.
I think there are many things about Mr. Bond one does not know. It would be interesting to attend night school, perhaps.
Papa is up to something, I'm sure of it.
Your father loves you very much, Tracy. Whatever he may arrange. I know it's for your happiness.
What has Papa arranged?
Have you, Mr. Bond? Let's try again.
Mr. Bond? Yeah? You've lost something.
Really?
We'll give it you outside.
Why not? Perhaps we can make up a foursome. And where's the party this time?
You have an appointment.
Business or pleasure? Mystery tour, eh?
What's it to blow?
Fuse is set for exactly 5 minutes and 10 seconds time. The whole place will be sealed off forever.
Will that give the Englishman time to get out?
He knows the schedule.
D. On the first wrong answer from Miss Solitaire, you will snip the little finger of Mr. Bond's right hand.
There's old Albert. He's a crock. Got over careless with him some time back, and he took my whole arm off.
Well done, Albert.
Oh, they'll eat anything, even each other. There are two ways to disable a crocodile, you know.
Well, one way is to take a pencil and jam it in the depression hole behind his eye.
And the other?
Oh, the other's twice as simple. You just put your hand in his mouth and pull his teeth out.
I regret to inform you, Major, that Agent Sergei Barzov has been killed. On a mission at Berngarten in the Austrian Alps.
It's been a wonderful weekend. I shall never forget it.
Nor will I. When can we meet again?
As soon as my mission is accomplished.
When someone's behind you on skis at 40 miles an hour trying to put a bullet in your back, you don't always have time to remember a face. It's our business and your people get killed. We both know that. So did he. It was either him or me.
Hello.
Hi.
I haven't seen you here before.
I'm Klaus Hergesheimer.
New here.
I've been here 3 years. G-section.
How are things in G-section?
Oh, still the same old grind, you know. Checking radiation shields for replacement.
Who are you? What do you want?
Klaus Hergesheimer, G-section. Just checking on radiation shields. Now, let me see. You are,
Now, will you get out of here?
Certainly, Doctor. I've seen everything I need to see. Thank you very much.
Hi. Sorry to bother you. I'm Klaus Hergesheimer. G-section. Checking radiation shields?
Please, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Lincoln? What is it? It's terrible news, Comrade General. The reproduction has been stolen in transit.
The thief was dealt with, but the egg was lost in the river.
Your incompetence will destroy us all.
We'll have a replacement, mate.
There is no time, Comrade General. I have just been informed of an unscheduled inventory in 2 days.
Control yourself, Lincoln. I'll tell our people in London we must have the genuine egg back.
Well, hello, 00.
Fine way to treat the CIA. Sorry about that, Felix, but you're just about to say 007. Yeah.
Well, James, have you killed him?
You know me better than that. She's down there, all right.
Are the bombs on board?
No.
Oh, great. Now what's our next move?
We'll check on the Disco Volante. If the bombs aren't aboard her now, they soon will be.
Who are you going to ask? Largo?
No, I don't think we'll have to.
Commander Bonzo. Mr. Frederick Gray, Minister of Defense.
Good morning, Commander.
Where, in fact, did we get the tracing, Freddie?
Cairo, diplomatic bag. Somebody got hold of the plans of that tracking system and is trying to sell them. They sent us that tracing as proof that it's genuine.
Oh, then if there is a deal to be made, the price is going to be high.
High? Astronomical.
Lower the Stargate.
You think there's a danger of the bends?
Oh, we'll soon find out.
Bond, what do you think you're doing?
Keeping the British end up, sir. Shuttles are built in California by Drax Industries.
Yes. We were responsible for the safety of that shuttle, Commander. The United States government is justifiably concerned.
I can imagine.
Gas masks? We can't afford to take any chances, Minister.
Frederick Gray, what a surprise. And in distinguished company, all wearing gas masks. Must excuse me, gentlemen, not being English. I sometimes find your sense of humor rather difficult to follow.
On behalf of the British government, I apologize. I've never been so humiliated in my life. Your man should be taken off the assignment. I'll see you at the consulate.
As this is the first joint venture between our two countries, I'm having it patched directly to the White House and Buckingham Palace.
Well, I'm sure Her Majesty will be fascinated. My God, what's Bond doing?
I think he's attempting re-entry, sir.
You were meant to question Gonzales, not let Miss Havelock perforate him.
I quite agree, sir.
We'll have to tell the Prime Minister Operation Undertow is dead in the water. She'll have our guts for garters.
If you care to look again at page 2, paragraph 4 of my report, sir, you will note that I saw someone paying off Gonzales. Now, assuming that that was for Havelock's murder, then there is still a glimmer of hope.
I don't follow.
If we could identify that someone...
Why don't you try the identigraph?
Yes, sir.
Well, get cracking, 007.
Minister?
If it is the Russians, it could be an effort to raise currency for covert operations abroad or for payoffs. Either way, we'd better find out what they're up to.
Yes, Minister.
Eyes only, 007. Operation Trove. You'll be replacing 009. He turned up dead in East Germany with that egg in his hand.
I'm afraid there's not much to go on.
Well, we do have one lead, Minister. Property of a lady.
Well, now, until recently, all microchips were susceptible to damage from the intense magnetic pulse of a nuclear explosion.
We'd be paralyzed at the Russians' mercy.
That is why one of our private defense contractors came up with this. A chip totally impervious to magnetic pulse damage. Now, if I place it on the microcomparator and compare it with a chip that Commander Bond recovered from the body of 003 in Siberia...
They're identical. The KGB must have a pipeline into that research company.
It would appear so.
What about Zorin himself?
Max Zorin, impossible. He's a leading French industrialist. A staunch anti-communist with influential friends in the government.
Yes, but with due respect, Minister, the leak did occur after Zorin bought the company.
Precisely why I've already initiated an investigation.
All right, but for heaven's sake, let's be discreet about it.
But of course, Minister.
I have here secret directive from Pushkin, Smirt Spionam.
Death to spies, Minister.
Da. For an assassination program with list of targets, British and American agents.
2 dead, 2 in hospital, and Koskov probably back in Moscow, if not dead by now.
We're the laughingstock of the intelligence community. Our first major coup in years, snatched from right under our noses by the KGB, only hours after he defected.
No trace of him?
Nothing. And there's this Pushkin matter.
Well, I must be off. Meeting with the PM this afternoon.
You want to sit in the front, Mr. Franks?
It's a lot smoother ride in the front, Mr. Franks.
Yes, I believe I'll sit in front.
The stiff. The cease back there. Your brother, Mr. Franks?
Yes, 'twas.
I got a brother.
Small world.
Hey, listen, you can't do this to me! Stop that! I've got friends in this town!
Exceptionally fine shot.
I didn't know there was a pool down there.
Hey.
Half. You get the rest later.
Al. Al. Wherever you are, don't hold it against me.
Now, let me see. You are,
Professor Dr. Metz. Our shields are fine. Now get out.
Well, I'm sorry. It won't take a moment, but I must verify. Metz. How do you spell?
Will you please leave, you irritating man? I don't understand. You said they wouldn't attack. You said they would...
The balloon was the signal.
Tell them we surrender. This is not the madness.
One more word, Metz, and I'll have you shot. Get back to your post.
My name is Dr. Kaufman. I am an outstanding pistol marksman. Take my word for it, yeah?
It won't look like a suicide if you shoot me from over there.
I am a professor of forensic medicine. Believe me, Mr. Bond, I could shoot you from Stuttgart and still create the proper effect. It seems there is a red box in your car. They can't get to it. They want me to make you unlock the car. I feel like an idiot. I don't know what to say. I am to torture you if you don't do it.
You have a doctorate in that, too?
No. This is more like a hobby.
Bob Conley.
Are you a trainer?
Horses? Hell, I can't even ride. I'm in the oil business.
Oh, Texas?
Frisco. I handle Mr. Zorn's oil interest there. Activate pumping procedure. 50% power.
Increase it. Maximum.
The new seals in the line are not fully tested.
Main strikes in 3 days. Any delays, I hold you responsible.
Yes, sir.
It's time to flood the fault.
But Mayday and my men.
Yeah, a convenient coincidence.
Mr. Zorn, those men are loyal to you. Ah!
Your champagne, sir.
What was that?
Your champagne.
Put it on the table, Max.
But this gun, I find it particularly fascinating. What is it?
A shotgun, naturally, with compressed gas pellets.
Ingenious!
The gate.
Oh, slowly, Whisker, slowly. Let our diners assemble.
Keep the change.
Welcome to Japan, Mr. Bond. And how do you like our country so far? I am a trifle disappointed at the ease with which I could pull you in. The one thing my honorable mother taught me long ago was never to get into a car with a strange girl. But you, I'm afraid, will get into anything with any girl. Do you like Japanese sake, Mr. Bond? Or would you prefer vodka martini?
Oh, no. I like sake. Especially when it's served at the correct temperature. 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit, like this is.
For a European, you are exceptionally cultivated.
Do you have any commandos here?
I have much better. Ninjas. Top secret, Bond-san. This is my ninja training school. This is our special baby rocket. It's very useful for people who smoke too many cigarettes like you. Accurate up to 30 yards.
Very neat.
It can save your life, this cigarette.
You sound like a commercial.
That's it. 100 honors and 90 below.
Now sit down, the Strangways. I have to give it you.
afraid I must leave you for a few minutes. Order round on my chit, will you, Professor?
Right.
Damn it all, must you break off at this time every evening?
Sorry, General. My managing director is a creature of habit. He has a call put through to me every day about this time.
Anyway, hurry back before the cards get cold.
20 minutes. And don't try doctoring any hands for me while I'm away. Same again.
Where's the key? Where's the key?
In my coat, in the pocket.
All right, get out. Move. You swim? Here, take the wheel. This way, please. Just isn't your day, is it?
You hurt? Still in one piece, but I wouldn't know how.
You were so lucky to miss. Did they try to rob you, sir?
They tried to kill me.
And back her up.
Well, it looks like you're as lucky as they say.
Eh?
Oh, you're a legend, old boy. Cod Sense Jimmy Bond, they call you. I knew you right away.
I didn't know I had that much of a reputation.
A bank of 23 million francs.
Sweetie.
Nine at the table. Back her up. Well.
Will accompany me to the office and give me the money. If you call for help, I shall fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You leave me no choice. I cannot let you destroy me.
I've already destroyed you.
You think so, huh?
I'm no hero. I don't like pain. But I can tell you one thing right now. You won't get anything out of me.
Well, sit he's there, will you? James, where on earth have you been? I've been searching London for you. 007 is here, sir. I'll see you in a minute.
Moneypenny. What gives?
Me, given an ounce of encouragement. You never take me to dinner looking like this, James. You never take me to dinner, period.
I would, you know. Only Anne would have me court-martialed for illegal use of government property.
Flattery will get you nowhere, but don't stop trying.
Once more onto the breach, dear friends.
And one plane ticket. Lucky man. I've never been to Istanbul.
You've never been to Istanbul? No. Where the moonlight on the Bosphorus is irresistible.
Maybe I should get you to take me there someday. I've tried everything else.
Darling Moneypenny, you know I never even look at another woman.
Oh, really, James?
Once, when it was being repaired, I saw the insides. There were many perforated discs, made, I think, of copper, with a small light. Dushka, tell me the truth. Am I as exciting as all those Western girls?
Oh, once when I was with Anne in Tokyo, we had an interesting experience.
Thank you, Miss Moneypenny. That's all, that's all.
Those copper discs and the light.
Oh, the light. James, come closer. I want to whisper something.
Go on with what you're telling me. No, not that. The mechanism.
Miss Moneypenny, as you're no doubt listening, perhaps you take this cable.
And what do you know about gold, Moneypenny?
Oh, the only gold I know about is the kind you wear. You know, on the third finger of your left hand.
Well, one of these days, we really must look into that.
Well, what about tonight? You come around for dinner, and I'll cook you a beautiful angel cake.
Well, nothing would give me greater pleasure, but unfortunately, I do have a business appointment.
That's the flimsiest excuse you've ever given me. Ah, well, some girls have all the luck. Who is she, James?
She is me, Miss Moneypenny. And kindly omit the customary byplay with 007. He's dining with me, and I don't want him to be late.
So there's hope for me yet. You are late.
Yes, some people on the roads really burn you up these days.
In the conference room. Something pretty big. Every 00 man in Europe's been rushed in, and the Home Secretary, too.
That's why he's probably lost a dog.
James? How else will you recognize her?
Couldn't miss. She has 2 moles on the left thigh.
Oh, by the way, how was the girl?
Which girl?
The Chinese one we fixed you up with.
Oh, another 5 minutes till I found out.
She'll never know what she missed.
Miss Moneypenny, give 007 the password we've agreed with Japanese SIS.
Yes, sir. We tried to think of something that you wouldn't forget.
Yes.
I love you. Repeat it, please, to make sure you get it.
Don't worry. I get it. Sayonara.
James, good luck. That was a quick conference. How do you expect a girl to keep herself alluring?
Take a memo, please, Moneypenny.
Ready, James?
Sir, I have the honor to request you will accept my resignation, effective forthwith.
Resignation from what?
Her Majesty's Secret Service. And kindly present us that monument in there. Request granted. Not even with regret.
What did you expect? A knighthood? Why don't you read it?
2 weeks leave.
Well, you didn't really want to resign, did you?
Moneypenny, what will I do without you?
My problem is that you never do anything with me.
That's a date. The moment I get back.
Where are you off to?
Oh, just someplace to laze about. Beachcombing.
Mr. Franks, your passport is quite in order.
Well, anyone seeing you in that outfit, Moneypenny, would most certainly be discouraged from leaving the country. What can I bring you back from Holland?
A diamond? In a ring?
Would you settle for a tulip?
Yes.
Well, the authorities were more than helpful.
There's one small complaint. They seem to be missing one of their agents, a Miss Caruso.
Oh.
You wouldn't happen to know where she is.
Ah, Miss Moneypenny.
Morning, Moneypenny.
Good morning, sir.
It's only the hour that's indecent.
Really? I've got your ticket to New York. Q has repaired your wristwatch. And some background material on San Monique.
But I need my coat.
Oh, allow me.
Thank you. Come along, Miss Moneypenny. Morning, Bond.
Sir, Miss Moneypenny. Thank you.
Goodbye, James.
Moneypenny. Fairbanks.
Alaska.
No, Bill Fairbanks, 002.
Oh, poor Bill. I miss him.
Now, the man with the golden gun didn't.
Officially, that was never confirmed.
Where was 002 when it happened?
Beirut, 69. In a cabaret with a lady called Saida.
Beirut. Moneypenny, you are better than a computer.
In all sorts of ways. But you never take advantage of them.
Why wasn't Scaramanga confirmed as the killer?
Because they couldn't find the bullet. Darling.
Morning, Moneypenny.
Good morning, James.
Is he in?
Uh-huh. Must have been quite a party.
Boring, Moneypenny. As a matter of fact, I dropped off. Good morning, Moneypenny.
James, why are you so late?
I fell out of an airplane without a parachute. Who's in there?
Q and the Minister of Defense.
You don't believe me, do you?
And you should go right in.
Yes, Moneypenny.
James, you look as though you've just fallen off a mountain.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Moneypenny. As a matter of fact, I was in a cable car and, never mind.
The other courtyard. James.
Moneypenny, a feast for my eyes.
What about the rest of you?
Well, I was going to get around to that.
Well, you'd better go in. M's on leave, and the minister's arrived here with the chief of staff and wants to see you immediately.
I'll be right back.
I can hardly wait. Oh, haven't you forgotten something?
Oh, well, as M's away. Well, I must say you've become more beautiful every day.
I am over here.
Well, of course you are.
And this is Miss Penelope Smallbone, my new assistant.
Miss Smallbone? What can I say, Moneypenny? Except that she is as attractive and as charming.
As I used to be?
I didn't say that.
Oh, you're such a flatterer, James.
Oh, Moneypenny, you know there never has been, and there never will be anybody but you.
So you've told me.
Welcome to Universal Exports.
Take it, dear. That's all you'll ever get from him.
Thank you, Commander Bond.
You know me?
Miss Moneypenny described you.
In nauseating detail.
Really?
Thank goodness you're here, James.
Oh, that's very nice, Moneypenny. Don't you think it's a little over the top for the office?
I've been trying to reach you all morning. What have you been up to?
Rest and recreation, my darling. Well, the trip back from Siberia took a lot out of me.
Your dedication, when you're on the job, is most commendable, James.
Omit the customary pleasantries, Miss Moneypenny. We're pressed for time.
I'll fill you in later, Moneypenny.
Is Commander Bond here? I'd like to thank him personally.
Sadly, he's missing. We are continuing our search, but must presume the worst.
What would I do without you, Miss Moneypenny? Thank you.
Ciao, bello.
And that's all that's left of the McTarry.
Your husband died as he lived, Lady Fiona, in the service of Her Majesty. I thought it would be my painful duty to impart the news.
Naught else remains.
Nothing to speak of, I'm afraid. It was found in a tree, 100 yards from where he stood. But whether it is an article of apparel or an anatomical feature, that is the question. Should it be given Christian burial? Just how personal is a toupee?
It can only be regarded as a heirloom. I hereby claim a widow's due, according to McTarry tradition. Let me be comforted. Doodle me.
A quaint custom, but one more honored in the breach than in the observance.
Then you'll have to pay the piper.
The piper?
You heard me, you memo del Willie Coof. You'll have to pay the piper.
Look here, how about you give me the lowdown? How to play? Over a drink? Oh, I'm very sorry. My name's Clarence Leiter.
Well, sure. What have I got to lose?
Do you ever lose, old boy? Bars over there, lead on. I'm attached to Station S, British Secret Service. We're working in conjunction with the Deuxième Bureau and your own chaps have Combined Intelligence Agency in Washington.
Oh, it seems that we have a good many friends in common.
Yes, doesn't it? Le Chiffre is the toad-like creature. playing at the table in there. He's the chief Soviet agent for this area, controlled through Leningrad, Section 3 through Paris. And he's the most dangerous man they've ever had. His weak spot is gambling. You're going to play baccarat with him, and your job is to clean him out.
For what reason?
To destroy him. He's been gambling with Soviet funds and he's lost 80 million francs. Now he's going to try and get it back by gambling high.
That money you have, would you kindly put it on the table? I believe it to be 26 million francs. We want it.
That makes it very awkward, because I want it too.
You have exactly 10 seconds to do as I say.
Excuse me, Mr.
It's
Leiter.
quite all right, thank you. I think the call's for me in any case. Oh, just a moment. Will you do me a kind favor? Will you take this money to the cashier, tell him to hold it for Mr. Bond, who'll pick it up later this evening?
Why, certainly, Mr. Leiter.
Thank you very much. Why don't you pick it up? It might be for you.
Well, warm lady, we got cold beer over here, man. You want to catch a big fish there? It's only 2 pounds over here.
Good morning. Come on, Rosie, this one seems eager enough.
Stop right there. Turn around slowly. Keep your hands up.
As I was saying, Quarrel, a lousy agent, but the compensations speak for themselves. Rosie Carver, meet the man who shares my hairbrush. Quarrel Jr.
I'm really sorry. I could have shot you.
You might have even killed me if you'd taken off the scent you catch.
Number 11.
Distribution of red China narcotics in the United States, $2,300,000. Collected by number 9 and myself.
2,000,003. Our expectations were considerably higher, number 11.
Competition from Latin America. Prices are down.
I anticipated that factor. Are you quite sure all monies have been accounted for by yourself and number 9?
To the penny, number 1.
On the contrary, I have satisfied myself that one of you is clearly guilty of embezzlement. Spectre is a dedicated fraternity whose strength lies in the absolute integrity of its members. The culprit is known to me. I've decided on the appropriate action.
Can I get out that way?
Yeah, that's a naughty little habit. Listening at keyholes.
I wasn't listening. I was looking for those files. Anything that can't be found, I get the blame.
Oh, forget it. I'm sure it's not very important anyhow. I just hate to think you're going to spend the whole afternoon looking for these things.
No. I have the afternoon off.
Well, there's a coincidence. So have I. Why don't you show me around the island?
Oh, Mr. Bond. I was thinking, why don't you collect me at my apartment? It's lovely up here in the mountains. Nice and cool.
Well, you did invite me, remember?
Oh, of course. What's going on?
Forgive me. Book her, Superintendent, will you? And, be careful of her nail varnish.
Forgive my not shaking hands. It becomes a bit awkward with these, a misfortune. You were admiring my aquarium.
Yes. It's quite impressive.
A unique feat of engineering, if I may say so. I designed it myself. The glass is convex, 10 inches thick, which accounts for the magnifying effect.
Minnows pretending they're whales. Just like you on this island, Dr. No.
It depends, Mr. Bond. on which side of the glass you are. A medium dry martini, lemon peel, shaken, not stirred.
Vodka?
Of course.
I only gratify your curiosity because you're the one man I've met capable of appreciating what I've done and keeping it to himself.
Tell me, does the toppling of American missiles really compensate for having no hands?
Missiles are only the first step to prove our power.
Our power? With your disregard for human life, you must be working for the East.
East, west, just points of the compass, each as stupid as the other. I'm a member of Spectre.
Spectre?
Spectre. Special Executive for Counterintelligence, Terrorism, Revenge, Extortion. The four great cornerstones of power, headed by the greatest brains in the world.
Correction. Criminal brains.
The successful criminal brain is always superior. It has to be.
I prefer the Revenge Department. Of course, my first job would be finding the man who killed Strangways and Quarrel.
You persist in trying to provoke me, Mr. Bond. Usually when a man gets in my way.
You're wasting my time, Goldfinger. The depository's impregnable.
Look, the joint is bomb-proof, electrified, lousy with
Bear
missiles.
with me, please. Fort Knox is a bank, like any other. Larger, better protected, perhaps, but nonetheless, a bank. I've heard enough.
Let him
If
finish.
you have no objection, I'll take my money now.
What's the matter, Solo? Too big for you to handle?
Mr. Solo, Mr. Bond, another of my distinguished guests. Hello.
Leaving us so soon, Mr. Solo?
Unfortunately, he has a pressing engagement. Yeah. I'd like to get started, Goldfinger. Boy.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
My plane will get you to New York on time. With your excess luggage.
I call these girls my acorns. Actually, they're a gift from Willard Whyte, who is upstairs right now somewhere playing Monopoly with real buildings. I try to phone him, but trying to find Willard Whyte is like trying to find a virgin in a maternity ward.
Willard Whyte speaking.
FBI? CIA? No, British intelligence, Mr. Whyte. James Bond.
What the hell's happened to me, and what can I do about it?
You won't believe this. Willard Whyte for you.
Wow.
This is the real honor, sir.
Shove, Your Honor. Where's that satellite I sent down there?
Stand by to abort.
A vast supply of diamonds being manipulated by an expert in light retraction.
The first laser beam was generated through a diamond, and if old Mintz deserves 1/10 of his reputation, the power of that thing could be incredible.
And Blofeld's got it.
One of our missiles just accidentally blew up in North Dakota. Whatever's happening, Mr. Bond, has started.
A new writer is brought in to develop the idea.
I got a call from my agent saying, how would you like to write a James Bond movie? I thought he was joking. I mean, this monstrous joke. Cubby Broccoli was saying, I need a writer to rewrite this script. I want him to be young. I'd like him to be American. But he has to have a command of the British idiom.
He's a perfect writer for this because he writes larger than life and he writes with attitude.
Well, I was like a kid in a candy store. I couldn't believe that I was there as the writer of a Bond movie.
And he and I got on like a house on fire immediately.
The one-liners that you remember or I remember in Bond. Tom came up with some really good ones.
So speak or forever hold your peace.
You don't go back yet. You just you stop and you start a half a step back because rocks start coming down.
Kirsch was wonderful to work with. For me, he was the first director, and the last, really, who allowed me to pull out all stops. He's the kind of director that he gave me permission to explore many possibilities, and I would come to him with an idea or 2 ideas or 5 ideas. He's an enthusiastic director, and for an actor, I speak only for myself now, enthusiasm is something that I love because it opens your creative doors. It gives you permission to go out on a limb, so to speak. And he did that. His enthusiasm was just wonderful.
When you're trying to be creative, you try to still the mind. You don't think through the creative act. You allow it to happen because you've cut all peripheral awareness out of it. And then who you are gives you the creative impulse.
W6N, 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 calling G7W. How do you hear me? Over.
G7W, London. G7W, London, receiving you. Over.
Stand by to transmit. Wait. Out.
You couldn't have been on a more successful kick than the Bond movies.
The term Bond-esque and Barry-esque gets used in music criticism a lot.
Music is of the essence, and John made an enormous contribution.
Everything that John did, you know, kind of defined what spy music should be.
I try to go with the elegance of the Oriental feel. I try to intertwine that into the story.
I think the thing about On Her Majesty's Secret Service is it's an absolute killer tune.
To create the score, Barry combined synthesizers with alpine horns.
John Barry was one of the great screen composers.
Roger played the whole character much lighter.
John Barry has stamped his mark on the series in an incredible way.
It's a Bond thing. It's the biggest series in the history of the movie industry.
For the Living Daylights, a new James Bond once again gives John Barry a chance to introduce a new Bond sound.
I thought the synthesizer bass gave the movie a new feel.
John did a definitive orchestration arrangement of the James Bond theme.
I reflect back on that whole period only with the happiest of memories. I was very happy and very proud to be associated with it.
I have been training my own special angels of death. Those girls. Those girls.
Thank you.
What is a baroness? A kind of inferior sort of baron. Oh, how disappointing.
Well,
Oh, I don't mean you're inferior. I mean the title is.
what's your name?
Ruby Bartlett. From Lancashire. Morecambe Bay, actually.
How did you get here?
Do we have to talk about that now?
I will tell you what to do, Ruby. I will tell you when. I will tell you how. And after you've done what I teach you, you will forget it forever.
Bond! He's there. That's in the Prime Minister.
I'll get it, Dennis. Hello?
Mr. Bond on the line, Prime Minister.
Ah, Mr. Bond. I wanted to call you personally and to say how pleased we all are that your mission was a success. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Don't thank me, Mr. Bond. Your courage and resourcefulness are a credit to the nation. Dennis and I look forward to meeting you. Meanwhile, if there is anything I can do for you...
Give us a kiss. Give us a kiss.
Oh, well, really, Mr. Bond.
I think we're having a little trouble with the line, madam.
Give us a kiss.
You idiot. Get on to it.
5th floor, sir? Yes, you said you were on the 6th. I'll see you to your room.
I'd rather see you to yours.
Why would I argue with that?
Sheev sent you to me, didn't he? Don't deny it, I know you're with him. He told you to come to my room. Because of the microphone?
Microphone?
In the fireplace, with Sheev listening just above?
What are you talking about?
You mean he didn't tell you about the mic? The wires go through the chimney to his room just above here?
I didn't know.
Let me look at you. You can't lie to me, you never could.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I couldn't stand what they were doing to you. Darling, you're very brave. I couldn't be not like that.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sir Hilary.
Have a look at this. Let me take your coat. Arms of Sir Thomas Bond, Baronet of Peckham, died 1734. Argent on a chevron sable. 3 besants. Good motto, eh? The world is not enough. Vivian's doing a splendid job.
Thank you, Mr. Sable Basilisk.
I'm only able to countenance this deception on your assurance that the matter is of national importance.
I haven't exaggerated, and my department appreciates your help very much.
All right, then, during the deception period, I've arranged to lose myself amongst the churches of Brittany. I want to do some brass rubbings there anyway.
Fine. Where do I go for this meeting?
They're being a bit canny about that. They want me to send a description of myself.
Tactfully adjusted to favor me.
Yes, they will send the time and place from where I am to be, collected, as they put it. It's not our sort of thing, but under the circumstances.
Sounds as if they're suspicious.
Oh, no, not suspicious, just discreet.
Well, this, I take it, is Ranger's prearranged course to a patrol area.
That's right.
How many people knew this course?
Admiral Hargreaves, myself, and of course Talbot, the captain of the submarine. Where did this come from?
I'm sorry, Benson. For the moment, that's top secret.
I see, sir.
Monsieur? Wait a minute. You there?
Oh!
I shouldn't have the fish.
C'est toujours comme ça.
You must have an unreasonable fear of gate crashers to carry this heavy artillery. This bomb has a tiny gyroscope inside. Any lateral movement on your part, and you could be served in an egg cup. If you understand what's being explained to you, nod gently. Good boy. Stay. Thank you very much.
His Excellency, el Presidente Lopez.
Hector, pasa. ¿Cómo estás?
There's been a mistake with my check. Look at it. It's half the usual amount.
You were very quiet. when I was arrested. Remember, you're only president for life.
I think you and El Presidente will make a perfect couple.
Be good. At least until I get back.
Ciao.
$100,000 is not enough.
What are you trying to say?
I changed my mind. 2 years of my life, studying the film, the reports, plastic operations, voice lessons. Make it $250,000. Or get someone else.
There is no one else.
Exactly. I am Derval.
And I took basically a Bee Gee kind of rhythmic feel. Most of it is very well taken from what had been done before, which had been brilliant. So I went right to Mozart. That's all I was doing most of the day, was working with Carol Sager. And she finally came up with this great phrase, nobody does it better. Nobody does it better.
You'll be sent down by cable car, and you will refrain from troubling us again.
What about all my clubber? My belongings, please?
Well, they will be sent down later.
But they're mine, damn it!
We have certain rules which must be observed.
The authorities will hear about this.
Good day, sir.
You perverse British, how you love your exercise. Every year, dozens of amateur climbers. They wind up in the same predicament. A kind of waxwork show for morbid tourists. Here, Jimmy.
How much?
£100,000 sterling.
100,000.
You can keep the case with my compliments.
Thank you, monsieur. Could we have the name, please?
Bond. James Bond.
James Bond. James Bond?
Yes, James Bond.
Yes, James Bond.
I wonder if you'd be kind enough to sign my autograph book.
Oh, yes.
It's not for me, you understand. It's my little sister.
Now, I wonder if you'd be kind enough to put your autograph on that receipt for the £100,000 sterling, please.
But of course, Mr. Bond.
Not for me, it's for somebody else.
4, 3, 2... For England, James!
Hold your fire! You blow the gas tanks! This is your last chance. Come out with your hands above you. Wait! Minister! I must protest. This is my investigation. You are out of order.
Marchicha, Whyte. From what I'm hearing, it is you who's out of order.
I've seen this gun before.
You put it down.
In the hand of our
Put it down, General!
Do you even know who the enemy is, Dimitri? Do you?
Go!
Defense Minister Dimitri Mishkin, murdered by British agent James Bond. Himself shot while trying to escape. Guards!
Now, regarding a replacement for Cha, you have someone in mind? Oh, yes. Well, if you can get him, of course.
Flight BA128 to Rio de Janeiro. Now boarding gate number 7.
They know who he is. He's on our records, a professional killer.
Call Jaws?
Watch out!
And of course, anyone not measuring up to your standards of physical perfection will be exterminated.
Certainly.
Interesting. Most interesting. Jaws.
Expel them.
Jaws, you obey me. Expel them!
Good morning, boss.
Morning.
It's sure going to be a beautiful day. Yes, sir, a beautiful day. They're heading for the hill.
The legendary Baron Samity, folks.
I was with another stuntman up there called Wayne Michaels, and we both had to jump together. And as he went first, I had to wait for him until he jumped. If he hadn't gone at the right second, then the train would have passed the point at which I could leap off onto the bed. And he was very good. He timed it perfectly.
Now, £320,000. New bidder.
That's interesting. You know it. Kamal Khan. Usually a seller.
3-6.
Marginal qualities from dubious sources.
666. It was not such a good double to accept after all, was it?
Double.
Of course. You can only win with a 666. The stake is 200,000 rupees. Do you have the cash?
think that this should be ample security. Don't you?
Play, Mr. Bond. You need a great deal of luck to get out of this.
Oh, luck. Well, then I shall use player's privilege and use your lucky dice. It's all in the wrist. Double sixes. Fancy that?
Spend the money quickly, Mr. Bond.
I intend to, Kamal Khan.
Bond has escaped.
How careless of you.
I apologize.
Oh, by the way, Kamal, I'd like you to meet my new house guest.
An old friend of the family, you might say.
How lovely. You have a nasty habit of surviving.
Well, you know what they say about the fittest?
Set the bomb to detonate at 3:45. We must leave the base by 3:15. I take it none of you will be late.
Mr. Bond. Don't concern yourself with the pilot, one of my less useful people. You're fading from my picture, Mr. Bond, but the end cannot be far away. Mr. Bond! Mr. Bond! We can do it here! I'll buy you a delicatessen! Stainless steel!
All right, keep your hair on.
However great you think you are, your work's going to be cut, changed. Any number of other writers can be brought in at any moment to change your work. You might find that 5 other writers are working on your script at the same time. I mean, it has happened. When it gets in front of the cameras, the director might decide to cut and change a scene. If they're shooting on location, you're not there, he might have a better idea. An actor may not be able to speak a line, and it's taken out. You just have to accept that. I mean, if you are so terribly finicky and caring about your work, you can't bear to see anything touched. If you're a very temperamental and hypersensitive person, then the film industry is not the place for you.
What do you know about a man called Scaramanga, 007?
Scaramanga? The man with the golden gun? Current price, $1 million a hit. I mean, sir, who would pay $1 million to have me killed?
When I was a boy, I was brought up in a circus. My only real friend was a magnificent African bull elephant. One day, his handler mistreated him and he went berserk. Bleeding, dying, he came and found me. Stood on one leg, his best trick, picked me up and put me on his back. The man emptied the gun to his eye. I emptied my stage pistol into his. You see, Mr. Bond, I always thought I liked animals. And I discovered that I like killing people even more.
When I kill, it's on the specific orders of my government. And those I kill are themselves killers.
Oh, come, Mr. Bond. You disappoint me. You get as much fulfillment out of killing as I do, so why don't you admit it?
I admit killing you would be a pleasure.
I want to create an indisputable masterpiece once in my lifetime. The death of 007. Mano a mano, face to face, will be mine.
6 bullets to your 1?
I only need 1.
always did like that mausoleum. Put him in it.
Unbelievable. In all my years as a trainer, I've never seen a horse run such a fast last furlong.
Sir Godfrey Tibbett, our department.
Many congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, there you are, Tibbett. I wish you wouldn't keep wandering off as a good chap.
I'm sorry, sir.
Your driver may stay the night in the servants' quarters.
I'm sure that'll be more than adequate for him. What do you say, Tibbett?
That's It's interesting. He's had surgery.
That is how Zorin won the race. The good Herr Dr. Morton implanted one of these microchips into Pegasus, programmed to control an injection of additional natural horse steroids, or to overcome fatigue during the race.
How?
That small needle is triggered by a remote control transmitter. Come along, Tibbett. Stop wheezing.
I might just be able to squeeze you in, Bond.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Bond, the security. Kerim Bey sent a car for you, sir.
Oh, fine. Can I borrow a match?
I use a lighter.
It's better still.
Until they go wrong.
Exactly.
I'll get the car, sir.
I suppose it's customary to have people tailing you in these parts.
Oh, yes, sir. Today it's Citroen H31854 on duty. They're Bulgarians working for the Russians. They follow us, we follow them. It's a sort of understanding we have.
That's very friendly.
Basta! Do not kill me, Mr. Bond. At least not until we've had a drink. Then if you wish, I'll give you another chance. I'm Draco, of Draco Construction. But today is the 13th, Commander.
I'm superstitious.
A martini for our guest, Ellen.
A pleasure.
Shaken, not stirred.
Of course.
Campari for me.
Marc-Ange Draco, head of the Union Courts, one of the biggest crime syndicates in Europe.
The biggest?
Not quite. An organization known as Spectre operates worldwide. However, your legitimate business fronts are somewhat more extensive.
I've been informed of everything you've done for my daughter.
Everything?
Don't worry about that. On the day you marry her, I'll give you a personal dowry of £1 million in gold.
That's quite an inducement. But I don't need £1 million.
Stupido.
You have connections not open to me. Where is Ernst Stavro Blofeld?
I don't know where he is.
Can you find out?
If I could, I wouldn't tell Her Majesty's Secret Service. But I might tell my future son-in-law.
Go on.
Papa, where's James?
Don't worry, he'll join us soon.
But we can't leave him.
He doesn't need your help.
I will not go without
You'll have to. Spare the rod and spoil the child, huh? Well, James, I wish you luck. For the first and last time, remember?
An old proverb. Prices far above rubies, or even your £1 million.
You'll meet the man who cost me 3 of my best operatives.
Yes, November 64, the bullion job. You got away with quite a chunk of the haul. Tell me.
I took Paul and the group into the studio wings, and
produced it and did all the voices and so on and made a proper job of it, like a proper record, which it was. And it was that stage that Harry Saltzman thought it was a demo. He said, now who do you think we should get to sing it? I said, well, you've got Paul McCartney. Yeah. What do you think about Thelma Houston? I said, she's very good. Aretha Franklin? Yeah, she's pretty good too. But I realised I had, with great diplomacy, had to persuade him that Paul McCartney's voice was the one for the film. And if he didn't have Paul, he wouldn't have the song.
We've got so much in common. We know how we work. And it's like, it's not very flattering to him, but I keep saying he's like an old shoe.
Yeah.
It's an old pair of shoes, you know. I like them. I just put them on and there's no problem in it. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt a bit, you know. And that's the attraction of George.
You're just a sad little lady.
I left Germany at the age of 13 in 1934 because of Hitler. And then came to England.
Ken was is the only German that flew for the RAF during World War II.
And eventually got my younger brother to join my wing just before the end of the war.
But he was a real hero because he, unlike his brother, who'd become naturalized because he went into British intelligence, Ken never was naturalized, and so he was serving in the Air Force, but he was still a German. So if he had been shot down and captured, he'd have been executed as a traitor.
What was amazing on all the Bonds, but it started on Thunderball, when I had to design a lot of underwater craft and so on. I just designed them, and I thought nobody could ever realize these designs and that they weren't practical. And we found this expert on mini submarines in Miami, Jourdan, and he said, no, we can build that. And that gave me a great deal of confidence because I found in subsequent Bonds that whatever I designed, somebody in the world was able to realize these designs and make them practical.
I think Ken is probably one of the foremost people who are actually responsible for the success of the Bond films.
Ken Adams' contribution is immense to all the Bond movies.
Ken Adams' contribution is beyond description.
I'd never seen anything like it. And it was marvelous to work in a set like that. It gives you another dimension to what you feel.
You can't easily say that if it had been somebody else and not Ken Adam, it would have been unique. It's his vision that really created the world in which Bond lives.
I think you know Jim Fanning, our art expert.
Yes, hello, Jim. James, this is the fourth egg to turn up at auction this year. It's from none of the usual sources. Anonymous seller, numbered Swiss bank account. I'd say that the vendor was a Russian. And now this turns up. A near-perfect forgery.
Set with blue sapphires and 4-petaled gold flowers with diamonds.
How much should it fetch? 250, 300,000 pounds. Anything more, we're crazy.
Used by Tsar Nicholas in 1897 in Moscow. Property of a lady.
Well, there are quite a few ladies here. She wouldn't have to be here in person, you know. She would always be represented by proxy.
425, new bidder. Thank you, sir. 425.
Have you gone mad? Let's see how badly he wants it.
450. 450. 475.
Jim?
The bid is 450,000 pounds. I have 475. 500,000 pounds. 500,000 pounds. I have £500,000.
Oh, my little Matahari. I told you to come back.
Silence! Or I will switch you off.
Oh, not that. Anything but that.
You must be Poland.
She remembers me. Her little Polo, she remembers me.
Welcome home, my child.
Welcome indeed, welcome.
Stop!
Le Chiffre is trying to raise money by selling his unique art collection.
Why does he need money?
He's a compulsive gambler, that's why. And he is using organization funds for his gambling.
You mean Smirsh?
Smirsh. If he does not pay off his debts, he will be liquidated.
Liquidated? Who by?
By them.
You mean
You're so like your mother, you're driving me mad.
Well, you haven't got far to go.
Come to me, my little master, come to me, come!
Goldfinger was a bit of a challenge because I began to sense that Bond was becoming a Superman and using the things that worked so wonderfully well in the two previous films. It was then not too difficult to have a target and know what we were trying to do.
The normal history of series is that they get worse and worse. The reason being is that the people who make them become fat, rich and lazy. There may be a bit of fat and there may be a bit of riches around, but the one thing that has made Bond survive is that anybody who has anything to do with it is not lazy.
And whilst we're about it, I mean, why don't we cut off Bond's private parts, you know? Instead of a circular saw, which was the standard thing, let's use a laser beam. Yeah, it's a good idea. And eventually the blowtorch works and the weld starts to melt. And I said, that's good, a bit quicker, and saying, Sean, lie down. So Sean lies down, and he's trying to watch. And then it's marvelous because some smoke comes out. And I says, good, quicker, a little quicker. That's good, no, slow down. And Sean is now beginning to get, and you talk about sweat, that was real sweat. and he's thinking, when is that son of a bitch going to say cut? They don't know where Sean's crutch is. They just are going along.
I've been arrested by the Russians. I have been in, I spent a lot of nights in a lot of jails. I had a fairly complicated war. None of it did I do James Bondian things. And I now say, but taking myself back to that situation, if I had been a genius, such as James Bond is, and as courageous as James Bond, and as bright as James Bond, this is what I ought to have done, and here we've got the situation. The war would have been over much quicker if James Bond had been in charge.
Reduce the gold in this special furnace ingots, which in turn will be smelted away approximately 2 tons. I make 6 trips a year to the continent in the Rolls-Royce, Mr. Lake.
Wiser to suspend your other activities.
Now, Mr. Ling, please assure your principals Operation Grand Slam will have my undivided attention. Now, there are certain matters...
I'm a very familiar face. People don't say, oh, there's Bert Kwok. What they say is, isn't he the bloke off the telly?
Nice to know even old Q can surprise one of you double O's occasionally.
Algernon.
Not quite perfected yet.
You could write a very binding contract with this. Not perfected yet.
It's a motorbike toy. If I can get the thing to work properly, I'll ship it out to you. Wait a minute. I've got something in here that could be useful. Rather tasty, this is. It looks like a watch, but it's really a laser. Keeps perfect time.
But for how long?
At least your lifetime. Good to see you, Mr. Bond. Things have been awfully dull round here. Bureaucrats running the old place, everything done by the book. Can't make a decision unless the computer gives you the go-ahead. Now you're on this. I hope we're going to have some gratuitous sex and violence.
I certainly hope so, too.
Goddamn little brown water hog! Oh, what's the matter, J.W., huh?
You just try that in my bayou, boy! I'd hold your ass!
What did you get that chicken coop off the road? Did you ever think of getting a driver's license, boy?
What are you? Some kind of doomsday machine, boy? Well, we got a cage strong enough to hold an animal like you here.
Captain, would you enlighten the sheriff, please?
Yes, sir. J.W., let me have a word with you. J.W., now this fellow's from London, England. He's an Englishman working in cooperation with our boys, a sort of secret agent.
Secret agent? On whose side? How about demonstration, boy? Certainly, sir. What the hell is going on? Now I know you.
Oh, no.
You're that secret agent. That English secret agent from England. You're chasing somebody. Who you at this time, boy? Tommy? Let's go get him. I'm with you all the way. You can't do this to me, and I want my wallet back. Now you take these goddamn bracelets off. I'm going to sue you for false arrest. Police brutality. I got connections. I'm going to get the FBI on your ass, the CIA. God damn it, I'm going to get Henry Kissinger. Now look at me when I'm talking to you, boy. What's the matter? Ain't none of you portheads ever seen an airplane before?
Maybe you can explain me. Why was I abducted from the roulette table and subjected to this, whatever it is?
Because of all Uncle James's 007s, you're the most beautiful and the most desirable.
Do you treat all the girls you desire this way?
Yes, I undress them and tie them up. Yes, I learned that in the Boy Scouts.
Lovely.
Let me ask you a question.
Do I appear menacing to you at all?
What are you laughing at? Do you realize that anything Uncle James can do, I can do better?
Ah, that will be the day. Dr. Noah's jet orbital spaceplane welcomes you aboard.
Yeah, she's a great likeness, isn't she? I copied her right down to the last, the two of us have had some profoundly moving religious experiences.
Look, they're uncovered.
These are not doubles. These are the real people. I've already substituted my robots for them. At this very minute, the world is being ruled by duplicates under my control.
Oh, well, that explains a lot of things.
Casino Royale is the first book Ian Fleming wrote where the character James Bond appears, and he's not yet this unfeeling, unflinching super spy. He's still a person, and he falls in love, and he gets betrayed, and he still has emotions, and so that actually made it really easy to write, because the title made it very difficult. If called and said we got a movie, it's called Thunderball, write the song, we go, great. That's
it rhymes with everything.
Thunderball. And just write the title first, right. And then Casino Royale.
Then you have David Arnold's tune.
I collaborated with David Arnold, and I had never met him before, so that was exciting because it's a little scary to sit down with someone you don't have any idea who they are. You're not in a band with them.
Yeah.
You don't know them, and to just decide that you're going to trust them, and so that was a great experience, and he was great.
With his cool sophistication and trademark black tuxedo, Matt Monro was the James Bond of easy listening, the essence of urbane 60s glamour.
The Bond movies, which were, although they're American produced, are British films, and they represent a particular moment when Britain suddenly is sexy, suddenly has style.
Matt was a great performer with an audience. When he worked the floor, he really did work it. He would sing up in front of the band, first of all, and then he'd take the mic off the stand and he'd tell a few stories. And people loved him for that. He was not just a singer, he was an entertainer, someone who gave something of his life to them.
People like Sinatra, Bing Crosby, Perry Como, all those people talked about Matt being the best singer that ever came out of this country, so they kind of endorsed him.
From Russia, with love I fly to you, much wiser since my goodbye. Must return from Russia with love. I've seen places, faces, and smiled for a moment, but oh, you haunted me so. Still my tongue-tied young pride would not let my love for you show, in case you'd say no to Russia. I flew I suddenly knew you'd care again. My running around is through. I fly to you from Russia with love.
Now, I promise you'll stay right there. I shan't be long.